What's up, guys? Jay, MorninAfterKill, and man, so I've sat here over the past week and a half or so. I've scripted and recorded a 3-episode series on just what went wrong in each of the Borderlands games in the franchise, to kind of give my perspective on what the certain je ne sais quoi, what is the secret sauce that makes Borderlands, well, Borderlands. Because it's a topic that I've made mention quite a few times over the past years, that Gearbox just seems to be unable to recapture that lightning in a bottle that made the first 2 Borderlands go down in history as legendary multiplayer experiences and become not only a genre-defining experience, but incidentally and accidentally creating the loot and shoot genre altogether. And I've gone through it all, every step of the way. I've analyzed gameplay, graphics, content, end-game design. I've even taken into consideration outside factors like current trends in gaming. And you know what I've been able to come up with? Out of everything that I've looked at regarding this series, do you want to know what makes Borderlands? Borderlands? I'll give you a hint. It's the one thing within the game that no matter how hard they've tried, Gearbox just hasn't been able to quite hit that nail on the motherfucking head. They've tried. And it's funny because the harder that they try to quote-unquote fix this issue, the more that they continuously fuck this issue up. And if you think I'm talking about targeted loot farming and rarities, then you, my friend, are fucking wrong, man. You're fucking wrong. It's the community. I'm serious. I'm serious. Behind every point that I've tried to make regarding Gearbox's issue within the franchise, the one constant there has been their lack of understanding of what it takes to foster a community. From the beginning, the best ideas in Borderlands have come from community involvement. From the discovery of the original glitched pearls, which Gearbox embraced and led to the creation of the pearlescent rarity. General Knox's armory glitch literally shaped the entire idea of endgame farming in Borderlands, to all the quality of life improvements that we got in Borderlands 2 with the mini-map, auto-collecting of ammo and money, bank space. All of this comes from community involvement. Shit. Even one of the most popular content creators in the Borderlands community, Gothalion, was originally a moderator on the early Gearbox forums. So, from the start, Gearbox's early involvement and embracement of the community and their ideas was one of the driving forces of the game. And then Borderlands 2 hit, and it immediately was embraced by an entirely new community. The YouTube content creation crowd. And from there, the game just fucking exploded all over the walls in spooky ectoplasm. It was larger than anybody at Gearbox ever could imagine. But now, the community was much larger, it's much more diverse, and the spotlight that was casted on Gearbox was much, much larger than it ever was. But more importantly, the community now was out of their control. Up until this point, The Borderlands community was largely centralized into one small group of superfans consolidated to the Gearbox forums. But after Borderlands 2's launch and coverage by already established YouTubers like YokeSlayer, it was exposed to a way larger community, mostly made up of, Battlefield and Call of Duty players. But still, Borderlands 2's magic continued to be community driven. From farming guides, duping lobbies, modded weapons, community organized events like the loot hunt. If it wasn't for the community, raid bosses in Borderlands 2 would still have a 24-hour lockout, so you can only kill them once a day. Could you imagine what the state of Borderlands would be today if you could only farm Pyro Pete once a day? You could only kill Hyperius once a day. Is kind of would have really killed the whole drive of the game, right? But then, after Borderlands 2, you had the perfect storm of the pre-sequel being lackluster, Gearbox under-delivering on endgame content, and showing a lack of understanding in their own community by leaving key features out of the game at launch. And then when you combine that with the release of Destiny, and you'll see the mass majority of this audience migrate towards Destiny because they found the same sense of community and belonging that they once had within the Borderlands community. And then this is where Gearbox kind of fucks up, because from here, you'll see it time and time again. Gearbox keeps trying to mimic the Destiny live service formula in their recent releases, trying to draw people back to their game. But they're not realizing that it's not the game or the content from Destiny that people want. It's the belonging to the community, the shaping of the game and its experiences along the way. But then ever since Borderlands 3, Gearbox has been trying to force you to experience the game the way they're offering, instead of allowing the community to come together and organically shape it like they did in the early days of Borderlands. And this is why, Borderlands 3 and Wonderlands, I'll say it time and time again, these games play fantastic. The shooting, the sliding, the movement, everything mechanically in this game is the best the franchise has ever seen. But they feel empty. And they feel hollow. They feel like they don't have the same souls of Borderlands 1 and 2. And that's because they don't. Because they don't have the community involvement to help shape these games. Gearbox has worked so hard over the past few years to regain control of their community that they once had on their forums, that they've lost their community altogether. And this is why games like Destiny, who's had all sorts of terrible releases over the last few years, still thrives. Because Bungie works tirelessly to foster their community and growth within their community, instead of just shaping the game how they want and then trying to pay content creator Shroud $25,000 to play the game once or twice, or even paying content creators money to keep their mouth shut and placate the community, instead of naturally shaping the game from honest community feedback. And when you lose that honest community feedback, then you lose what makes Borderlands Borderlands. So when you ask me what makes Borderlands Borderlands, you do, he do, she do, we do, ski do, dee do. But no, it's just something that I was going through, and I was looking, and I was like, God damn. Behind every major point that I wanted to make on this series, the community's involvement was behind every single one of these things that I was trying to illustrate. And I was like, wow. the game really is driven by the community, and it's a shame to see that Gearbox has lost sight of that. My name's Jay, MorninAfterKill. I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm going to see y'all motherfuckers later.